This is Faisal Khan for Lights Out, proudly sponsored by Spartans Law. And with me, I'm delighted to be joined by Mr. Matthew Macklin. Matthew, good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad. Yourself?
I'm all right. Thank you very much for asking, Matthew. We've just had the weigh-in. Savannah Marshall and Franchon Crews-Dezurn, undisputed super middleweight title fight of the world. Savannah's been here before. She come up short last year against Clarissa. Are you confident that she gets over the line tomorrow night?
It's a tough fight. I wouldn't be surprised whichever way it went, to be honest, because Crews-Dezurn, I think, we're going to come out fast and keep going, because that's the way she fights. She sets a high pace and keeps it going. I think it's important for Savannah. She's coming off a loss, although it was a great fight and it was Clarissa. It's still coming off a loss, and she'll want it. The first few rounds, I think it's important for her to stamp her authority, because I know Dezurn is going to really put the pressure on her. She's going to set the pace, she's going to force the pace, and I think it's important that Savannah Marshall can gain her respect early on.
I mean, you said that you expect Crews-Dezurn to come out fast in the opening early rounds, and I was speaking to a lot of people about Savannah's fight with Clarissa, and they reckon the slow start is what potentially maybe costed the fight. So do you think it's important that Savannah not only comes out fast but also maybe captures a few of the early rounds in this fight?
Well, look, I think what I want to say about the fast start, because she's, like I said, she isn't normally a fast starter. She warms into the fight. She's got a very kind of relaxed style. Lots of she likes room and time, and if she can settle into that rhythm, she's going to be very, very difficult to beat. Savannah, she cracks hard, but that's why if you're in Dezurn's team, you're saying, listen, you've got to get out there, force this pace, set the pace, get her on the back foot. Don't let Savannah get set her. Don't let her settle into a rhythm. You knock her out of that rhythm. So I think that's the tactical battle early on, where I suppose then if you're in Savannah's team, you want to say, look, the sooner you can hit her with something really solid, let her feel your power, get her respect, just slow her down a little bit, make her think about it, where, and that'll be the battle early on. Tactically, I think it's, Dezurn trying to force the pace, Savannah trying to get her respect, and then whoever can kind of set the tone and dictate the terms from that point onward, that'll probably be who goes on to win the fight.
Psychologically, how does a fighter go from losing one undisputed fight and going to another one straight away? Because, it takes a lot of guts doing what Savannah's doing tomorrow night. So, how do you think she's mentally prepared herself for this fight tomorrow?
No, I think that's top-level boxing. Once you're up there, and actually, she lost against Clarissa in a great fight, and now she's going straight back into another great fight, and there isn't the strength in depth for big fights, so this is what's came available. This is a challenge. She's gone up in weight as well. I think it makes a lot of sense for Savannah. She's just because she didn't win the fight against Clarissa. Clarissa's the number one, but she performed well. She showed she's up there, so she can still take a lot of positives from that performance against Clarissa, and then she's just got to work on certain things that they as a team looked at where they can improve, and then try and implement that on Saturday night. But Dezurn's got a different style. It's a different problems to solve, but she's a top operator as well. She's up in weight. I think Savannah says she feels better with the extra few pounds as well. So I think it's an interesting fight. I think it's going to be a close fight, a hard-fought fight, and I don't even know who I'd make a favourite. Probably Savannah, but then I don't know. Dezurn's it's her weight. So listen, it's a good fight.
Stood right next to you, by the way.
Yeah. So I better say the right thing.
Well, nonetheless, focusing on one point of this card. It was originally scheduled for the main event to be Liam Smith and Chris Eubank Jr. Liam had to pull out due to an injury. Chris has obviously not fought since that defeat in their first fight against Liam. Now, there are talks of a potential fight between him and Conor Benn in Saudi Arabia, but a lot of negativity sort of looming over that situation right now in terms of Conor failing a drug test. Just want to get your thoughts on the whole current situation, on what you think should be next for Chris, but also what you think should be next for Conor Benn.
Do you know what? I don't really. It's just speculation. It's all guesswork. So I don't really form an opinion on. It's just rumours. So until there's something, until something's actually agreed, signed, and announced, it's all hearsay.
Okay, the thoughts on Chris having David Haye in his camp as well, and perhaps you think David Haye brings anything different to Chris?
Look, having someone like David Haye with his experience can only be a good thing. He'll also bring a lot of profile promotion. He's very good at that. So yeah, he's very good nutrition, strength and conditioning, boxing training. He's certainly a wise guy to have in your corner.
Okay, moving on now. So I remember when the first ever time I met you was at the Josh Taylor versus Regis Prograis press conference, and you were sat next to me, and I asked you about Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and I said to you, do you think that fight's ever going to happen? And you said if both fighters want the fight, it will happen. The fight is going to happen. We're a month away now. Just break it down for me. I mean, Spence has not fought for over a year. Crawford's last fight was against Avanesian. It's a great fight. It's an undisputed fight. Which way do you think it goes?
Look, you've got two top operators, two of the best fighters in any weight division in boxing going against each other. I'll go for Crawford, because I probably would have gone for Crawford anyway, even before the car accident and everything. And I know he's bounced back since then, Spence, but it's got to have knocked a bit out of him, And like I say, even if that hadn't happened, I think I still would have leaned to Crawford, because we're talking absolute splitting hairs, fine margins, because they're both top. But I just think Crawford just might have that little bit extra.
Okay, well, I'll move on now. A couple of more topics before I let you go. Joshua versus White 2. Firstly, are you a fan of the fight? Is it a fight that you think Joshua should take, especially if he is heading to a mega showdown at the end of the year with Deontay Wilder?
Yeah, look, it's a fight that'll sell, won't it? They've had beef for years. They don't really like each other. They fought each other in the amateurs. They had the fight previous in their pro career. They're both obviously massively and achieved and enhanced their reputation. So it'll be a big fight. They're probably, I'd say definitely both on the slide, I think. Whoever more so, not sure. But it's a good fight, definitely.
One final one before I let you go. Frank Warren said yesterday on TalkSport that he doesn't expect an undisputed fight with Alexander Usyk to happen by the end of this year. He also claims that Tyson's next fight is going to be an absolute game changer. Yeah, just want to get your thoughts on the current Tyson Fury situation, Macklin.
Well, look, I don't know what Frank knows. He's in the negotiations, so he's the man that's best equipped with the information and the knowledge to give you the proper answers. Really, I'm just looking from the outside like yourself, but it'd be disappointing if we don't see the Usyk Fury fight, because we do want. I think everyone, I mean everyone in boxing wants to see an undisputed heavyweight world champion. Would like to see that fight happen. But I don't know what irons they have in the fire, what options they have. It's I think the last sort of year or so, it's been a little bit disappointing. I think boxing fans, boxing media, television, etc., have been frustrated, because it seems like we're so close. It appears that there's no obstacles in the way, and then for whatever reason, it's just not it just hasn't happened, and it's disappointing.
Okay, Matthew Macklin, a pleasure as always. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. We hope you enjoy the fight tomorrow night, and hopefully we'll catch up with you after tomorrow night, after the fight.
Cheers.